It's like we're watching Auschwitz on TikTok. Had there been YouTube and Instagram and TikTok around Auschwitz, this is what we would have seen. People burning alive. It's beyond horrendous. It's beyond comprehension. When people like this are empowered and encouraged and allowed and supported and perpetuating their horrors, they get more crazy, they get more cruel, they get more remorseless, more relentless, more ruthless. That's what happened to the Nazis. The Nazis did not start off with gas chambers. They started killing their mentally ill people in gas vans. Then they started shooting Jews in Eastern Europe. And then they ended up with the gas chambers of Auschwitz. It's a progression of madness and cruelty that's almost inevitable on the part of the perpetrator, and especially when it's encouraged by all the imperial powers. In the West, there's been this denial. If you walk through Trafalgar Square or Westminster Abbey in London, you see all these monuments to these mass murderers who killed thousands and tens of thousands of people in India, in Africa, and elsewhere in Asia. The present horrors fit into a long history of Western colonialism and Western mass murder of indigenous people. So what do you do with the guilt? Well, there's a guilt with, guilt. Guilt is when you do something deliberately that you could have avoided doing. I don't feel guilt about what Israel is doing. I'm not doing it. I'm against it. I've been against it for decades. When I used to believe in it, before 1967, I didn't know any better. It's just what I believed. As a Jewish survivor of the Holocaust, why would I not believe in a Jewish state? I don't feel guilty about that. And since I've been opposing it for decades now, why would I feel guilty about that? So it's not a question of guilt. It's a question of rage. It's a question of outrage. And the problem is that the outrage is helpless because your government and my government here in Canada and all the Western governments, all the post-colonial legacy governments are supporting this current ethnic cleansing and colonial perpetration. So the proper response is not guilt. Proper response is how can we channel our rage and healthy rage. And I'm afraid that's where we run into trouble because apart from providing support, whatever material support we can give to the Palestinians, apart from providing moral support, apart from speaking the truth, we also have to accept that we're helpless in the sense that all the conversations that you've had with the wonderful people that you've had on your program, Ilan Papi and others, all the talks that I've been giving, they've not saved a single life of a single Palestinian infant. And in the short term, they're not going to. And so the question is, do we stay silent or can we continue to talk, make a contribution, hopefully, to wake people up in the long term? And I think one thing we can say is that more and more people are waking up and more people are seeing reality and more people are recognizing the horror of the Zionist project that it has perpetrated on the Palestinian people and perpetrates on the world, actually. And how that Zionist project is bound up with the international colonial system, imperial system. So our job, can we stay awake? Can we hold on to ourselves? Can we hold on to our faith in humanity? Can we make a contribution that in the long term may make a difference? That's my response. And you know what? In the meanwhile, our hearts are breaking every day. Our hearts are breaking every day, and there's nothing we can do about that.